He's doing good. He's on here. I see him. He's doing good. He just made a or built a fireplace or outside fireplace in our backyard. So it looks good.
Morning, Bill.
Hey, Edward.
How's it going?
Well, I'm doing all your success, by the way, yours and Chanika. And I love it that you are the cause of her getting this to do something. I remember when you talked about how Chanika, well, I can go back and teach for a little bit. They asked me to come back, and Edward talked to you and said, no, we're not doing that. We're not going back. We're not backpedaling.
Oh yeah, I mean, it goes back to that. I remember that day you told me we went to Central Club that day. You told me basically you don't want your wife being told by another man what to do. I remember that day distinctly. I was that day. I was like, oh no, you quitting tomorrow.
I'll be right back.
I think he said he'll be right back.
Okay.
He did. Yeah, he just. Oh, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he said he'll be right back. So it's perfect. And I'm super excited for tomorrow night.
I am too. Can you send me that flyer again?
Of course. I'll send
Okay.
it to you right now. Do you want me to text it to you, email it to you?
Text it to me.
Done. I'll do it right now.
All right.
Well, Chanika, why don't we just go ahead and get started? And as everyone knows, Chanika was on a call last week and did a marvelous job of the simplicity. In fact, we're going to be using some of those tonight in our base shop training because it was so right to the point. But before we get into the orientation, which means what are you going to do after the first interview, first talk about, we were discussing a little bit how there was a time in your Primerica career when you were lured to go back to teaching. If people don't know, Chanika was the teacher of the year in Dallas, which is huge. And how long were you teaching, Chanika?
I was with the district for 14 years. And so that was a mixture of teaching and school counselor.
And how many degrees did you have to get just to make more money? Because it's on your, that quality of teaching is how many degrees you have.
Yeah, it definitely is. I got my master's degree. So that's my 2 degrees, bachelor's and master's. In some districts, they require teachers to not get a master's and they don't pay you extra for it. They just want the accolade of saying our teachers have a master's degree.
And talk about that moment when you were in Primerica and they lured you to go back temporarily and how you and your husband had a discussion. Talk about that.
So a good friend of mine, she had become a principal at a new school. Well, not at a school, and she needed a 0.5 counselor. And so she knew that I had already
What's a 0.5? What's a 0.5 counselor?
Oh, part-time. Because she had a small campus. And so usually if someone's a 0.5, that means they put you at another school at a 0.5. So that way you're full-time. And so she asked me if I would be her counselor. She said, I know you're leaving the district and you're doing your business, but I wanted to know if you would come and work with me part-time. And so I told her I was quiet at first, and she said, I know you left the district, but I just need your help just for this year. So I was like, okay, I can do that. And then I didn't even tell Edward at the time. I just told her, yeah, I can do part-time. And so when I finally told Edward, we were outside in the backyard, and he said, no, you're not gonna do that. And at first, my first thought was, yes, I am. How are you gonna tell me what I'm not gonna do? And then he broke it down though. He said, Chanika, she's gonna hire you part-time, but she's gonna work you full-time. And so after he explained that, I understood it. I was like, you know what, you're right. And so when I called her back the very next day, she already knew. When I didn't even have to say nothing. I just called her and I was like, hey, Julie. And she said, I already know. You didn't have to tell me. And I was like, okay, thank you for understanding. And that was it.
What would it have cost you financially if you had done that? You would have made how much?
I think they pay a part-time counselor maybe 30,000. I don't know, because I didn't pursue it. But if we would have pursued it, I know for sure we wouldn't have been schooled. I wouldn't have been an RVP, because she would have worked me, because she know my work ethic. So I would have been paid part-time, but I would have definitely been there, staying for this, volunteering for this, on her leadership team. And I know for a fact that's what would have happened.
And so, how long ago, how many years ago was that?
That was 2012.
So that was 9 years ago, and you're making $400,000 a year. So that would have been a $3.6 million sidestep.
You're right.
Just to make 30,000, you would have given up 3.6 million.
Oof.
And more, because stock. How much stock is the company giving you?
Oh wow. About 11,000 for every RVP, plus promotions throughout the month. When you do promotions, you get.
How much is that? How much stock do you have?
Basically, we got about a total of 100,000.
Isn't that something? We step over dollars to pick up pennies.
Yeah.
And so anyway, we all do it. And Edward, you're such an important part of the team of Edward and Chanika. It's never just Chanika. It's always Edward and Chanika. And what was going through your mind when she said, I want to try this part-time, we're going back to the school district? And why did you say what you said? Because it caused a 180-degree turn.
Mainly, especially just because I knew my wife, and that was mainly why I took all the responsibilities off her plate in the very beginning, just from running the business, because I knew her work ethic. So same difference when the woman, when the principal asked her to be a 0.5, same difference. I understood business. It's a 0.5 principalship, but I know Chanika, like she said, she's going to be a part of the leadership team, and all that stuff entails her giving her full attention. So I knew, again, even though the hours were 0.5, I knew she was going to put in full-time work just like she does with anything else. So I knew that was just, again, another distraction that we need to get rid of so we can continue to focus on building the business.
So what is total commitment? Obviously, you had in mind total commitment. What does that mean to you? And why is it?
But for me, and I guess because I had a kind of somewhat of a business mindset early on before just kind of coming into America. So I understood the amount of work and dedication you had to put towards, like I said, just when I started my business. I recall when I was 20 years old or 23 years old, I worked for Penske Truck Leasing, and I was a diesel mechanic, and I had a service manager. He was actually Yugoslavian, and he was very smart, but I actually heard him fixing a car. Basically, he was able to fix a vehicle over the phone. So he was able to talk someone through fixing a vehicle over the phone. And what I realized is he didn't learn it overnight. I realized he had to get really, really good at what he did to be able to fix a vehicle over the phone. So I understood at that point in my life that I had to get really, really good at being a mechanic in all areas before I could be a point of being that good. And I knew I had to get that good in order to kind of start my own business and work for myself. So taking that same mindset in America, I knew that again, Chanika was a teacher, always built this business with teachers and coaches. So that was very key too. So again, Chanika had a really big reputation in the school district. So I automatically want to take that side of it and mess with America, especially with Shanika's reputation, and just go all in. And again, that's just with anything. That's how I am. And Shanika tell you too, I'm all in. If I'm going to do it, I'm giving 110%. And that's just all the time. And that's with anything.
Well, what a dynamic duo you are. Thank you very much, Edward. Shanika, on your presentation last week, comment before we get into the next part. You came up with a brilliant quote, but I not only heard it, I felt it. When you said, an insurance license is a hidden secret in America to create generational wealth. Where did you come up with that? Why do you believe that? But it came from someplace deep inside, which I think is the cornerstone of what you did last week and why you're successful. Go ahead, Chanika.
Well, actually, that script we did get from Tony Stevens. And we just personalized it. You know, once he put together a game plan, we took it and ran with it and personalized it. Because when you think about it, you know, we're not taught about generational wealth. You know, when you go to church, you're taught about leaving an inheritance for your children's children. So we're taught that or told that at church, but we're not taught how is that supposed to happen? How does that work out in our day-to-day lives, leaving an inheritance for our children's children? And so that quote right there explains it. Like that in itself teaches you that this is America's best kept secret, because it is. Most people would have never thought to come to this industry. I know I didn't, because we're told to go to college, you know, and even in when I was a school counselor, as part of our curriculum, when we have college go get it week, we're taught to tell the students how the difference it makes in getting a degree. And so it's a brainwashing from the very beginning in elementary school. It's a brainwashing of college, and how you're supposed to, you know, the difference it is in getting a degree versus not getting a degree. Well, no one ever talks about entrepreneurship. No one ever talks about a license or how to create generational wealth. And so that just resonated with me, because we're not taught it. We're told about it in church, but we're not taught how that's supposed to all work out.
Yeah, I heard a quote yesterday and I love it. It says, it's more important to unlearn than it is to learn. and that's what you were basically saying, right? Unlearning that old way. Let me give you another, you kept saying last week, come partner with us. I must have heard that 3 times. Come partner with us, come partner. What's your thinking behind that phrase?
Because it's a partnership. And I want a new person to know that we are partnering together in this, and that you're not by yourself and you're not joining something, you're partnering with me. A partnership is different from just join, because you join the gym, but people don't go. You know, you join churches and you join things, but this is a business. I don't want you to join a business. I want you to come partner with me so we can work this out together. It's a partnership. And a partnership means 2 people that are working together to accomplish something.
You know, I love that. I'm making a note, by the way, not texting anybody. I love, you are precious. You are dadgum. What a waste you would have been as a high school, whatever, compared to what you are now and how valuable you are. You also said this is an apprenticeship. Talk about that and how you phrase that.
I say that all the time because, once again, I think most people are afraid of doing something they've never done before because they think they got to figure it out by themselves. And an apprenticeship means we work side by side. See, those 2 words, when you put them together, it registers with people. I'm partnering with them. You have business partners, and then apprenticeship means I'm learning from someone. You know, when you think of an apprentice, you know, that's someone that's they're side by side learning from whoever accomplished it. You know, I'm gonna be your apprentice. And that's just a key word to let people know I'm going to teach you what I know. That you don't have to figure it out. You don't have to go bump your head, only if you want to, you know, but if you're coachable and you become my apprentice, we're gonna work this out together.
You know, I've avoided the word mentorship because I don't think it says too much to me. I looked up the word tutelage. Tutelage is a one-on-one learning experience, like a tutor.
Yeah.
And talk about how you grab the heart of a person with your sincerity, honesty. The words you say are so critical. It's not just saying the words, but meaning it, because you really mean it.
Yes.
And because I'll talk about that, then we'll get on to the second part. Go ahead.
Yes. You know, when you're wanting someone to come with you in business, or no matter what it is. I mean, before Primerica, I would get parents to come and work with me for PTA. I was just good at getting people to do things and letting them know the last school I was at, you know, I started a PTA, you know, and so in doing that, you have to have different parts in place so that way you can be a true PTA board. And so it was getting people to understand that I'm going to work with you. You know, we're going to do this together. And I think when people know that you're going to work with them and you're going to do something together with them, they're more likely to say yes. And it's you listening to them. So I don't recruit them on what I want them to do. I recruit them on what they want to do. But it's asking those questions and listening to them. And then, you know, I mean, years ago, you made the statement and you said, we got to put away the flip chart and speak from the heart. I think people are so used to someone saying, hey, let me tell you about a business, and you take this flip chart out, no matter what it is. If it's Mary Kay, no matter what type of business it is, they take out this flip chart and they read through it. That, to me, after you said that, it made so much sense, because you're not looking that person in the eye. You're not getting that, the feel of the person, you know, and when you put away, because you're trying to read through and be done with it. So then you can say, hey, come join me in business. Instead of just talking to them and having a conversation and letting it flow and being able to just speak from experience. You know, even if you're fairly new in the business, you can still speak from experience and say, you know, this is a great opportunity. I'm so excited to start and get my license. I want you to come partner with me.
You know, that old adage that Art continually hammered us with was that people don't care what you know until they know that you care. And that's what I get a feeling with you. It's people want to know what you do. How do you do it? What's the word you use? And they should be copying your heart. Because Art said you went with your heart, not your head. And that's what I get. Like, that's the vibes I get from you. You know, and when people say, well, what they're not thinking, they're going through their emotions. Also, last thing is this. I have an impression of you that you're going to do it with me or without me. And I don't want to be left behind. How important is that to let people know versus I got to get you because you're my last hope. I need a body. I need a recruit. And you've been there. You were there at one time,
Yep,
but
I have.
now you turned the corner. Now it's come join me, come a president. If not, psychologically, I'm moving on.
Yeah. And I've said that a couple of times at an op night. Like, look, I want you to come win with me, but at the same time, it's going to happen whether you say yes or no. It's going to happen. And so it's because that way you let people know that I don't need you. Okay. I want you, but I don't need you. Because I'm going to succeed whether you say yes or not. But it'd be great if you say yes, because we can succeed together, because I'm going to succeed. You're going to watch this success story, whether you're a part of it or you're just sitting back and watching it.
Low recruiters are beggars. They just want somebody, and they almost pretty please. However they came up with that term, pretty please. I've never seen a please that wasn't pretty. But talk about that. And so the presentation you gave last week, and then how long after that do you have them come to an orientation?
Okay.
When is do you schedule the orientation at that point? You get to tell us what happens now. You finished. Yeah, I'd like to try this. Now what?
So after they say yes, I say we're going to put in a couple of pieces of information. I share my screen and we go straight to the IBA, and I share it so I'm always wanting them to see how simple this is. Same thing if I'm putting in a policy, I share the screen. I mean, that's one thing that Zoom has really done wonders is allowing us to share the screen and show people how simple it is. You don't have to be a rocket science to put a policy in. You don't have to be a rocket science to put in someone as your new business partner, and so I share the screen and we go through it. And then I say, okay, I'm going to email, this is going to be emailed to you. And then from there, I say, let's schedule your orientation. The orientation is going to tell you the next steps. And then typically I schedule it by that next day, no more than, 24 to 48 hours. And we train our team on that. Like when you schedule it, it should be within the next 24 to 48 hours, or it's fresh on their brain. After 48 hours, it gets watered down. They've been thinking, the sun has gone down, they've been pillow talking, and you no longer have that person.
And so do you have group orientations, or is it one-on-ones with them? How do you book it?
I do a one-on-one. I like one-on-one because sometimes in a group setting, I've only seen this from experience. If one person's negative, it feeds the rest of the people. So I don't do groups. I do one-on-one. So that way we can talk and we can be real. You can ask questions. You don't feel like your question is a stupid question, whatever that may be, but you're more open when I do something one-on-one.
So go ahead and now the one-on-one has started, the orientation, and what is it, the highlights of what you talk about, and why do you think they're important? And maybe look at, I do this for this reason, I do this for this reason. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and just kind of break it down and then stop and we can ask questions after that. So this is our vision redefined. Okay, we're going to have 20 regional vice presidents making $20,000 a month by the year 2024. So already I'm letting them know this is what our goal is. Like, this is what we're doing. This is our vision. So that way they can see where the vision is. Our immediate team is Dream Makers. And then Turner Nation is the hierarchy. It's the umbrella that includes all of our regional vice president teams. And then this is your Fast Start Guide. This is a quote by John C. Maxwell. It says, every worthwhile accomplishment has a price tag attached to it. The question is always whether you're willing to pay the price to attain it, and hard work, sacrifice, patience, faith, and endurance.
Again, you hit the 20 RVPs. Most people haven't thought that big. How are they handicapped if they don't do something like that?
I'm showing them the bigger picture. And here's the thing. Every time you do an orientation and you state that, it resonates in your spirit.
Right.
So you're really speaking to yourself.
Right. Excellent. All right.
Yeah. Okay. And then we move on to this section. And then I talk about, okay, so let's talk about getting you off to a fast start. Why is it important to get off to a fast start? Well, you do get to earn a $900 bonus and your district promotion in 30 days. If you follow our system, every goal and dream you have can and will be accomplished. So, Bill, if I were to ask you, how much do you want to make in your business on a monthly basis once you get licensed, what would that number be for you?
Oh, $2,000 a month.
Okay. Now, are you willing to work for that $2,000?
I think so.
All right. So I want you to write that number down. So I'm going to teach you exactly how to make $2,000 a month.
All right.
Okay. So within about 60 days from now, you're going to be licensed and trained along with 1, 2, maybe even 3 or more licensed and trained people who are all in the right market and know a lot of people and have credibility. Several others on your team will be on track to do the same. You'll have an unlimited number of appointments to go on because of all the new recruits that are coming to your team that need to be field trained, and you will be in position to earn $2,000 to $5,000 per month and be a top producer and win the company trips. You'll be on track to be an RVP within 6 months or so. However, you may want to go RVP in 12 to 18 months so you're mature enough in the business, can be a great leader. You could earn 30 to 50,000 income your first year, 150, 250 plus your second year in the business. And then you'll be on track to be one of our 20 RVPs, making over 20,000 a month in income. So Bill, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your desire to make that 2,000 a month?
6 or 7. By the
Okay.
way, let me make a point out to everybody. All of this is cannot be shown on a first appointment.
No.
You see, so it cannot be shown on a first appointment because it's not company approved. But on a second appointment, it's more training than it is. So I just want to give that caveat. So I'm about a 6 or a 7 to make $2,000 a month.
Okay. And so let me ask you this question. What's the stop from 7 to a 10?
Believability, I would say, just a little apprehensive. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm not confident. I don't have any background in this.
Okay. And so when I work with you and I help you with your confidence and your background, could that 7 become a 10?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. So I'm going to coach you as a 10.
All right. Excellent. All right.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm going to put that. That's good. We'll keep going.
Okay. All right, so here are our minimum expectations. We are going to prepare your top 25 list today. Okay, I do want you to dress for success. This is a business of first impression, so make a good one. You want to look like a professional. Now, today we're on Zoom, so definitely want to look good from the shoulder up. That's all they're seeing. You can have on boxer shorts, but you got to look good on Zoom, okay? You do want to attend all of our business building training classes. We do meet twice a week as a team. Okay, our Thursday evenings are from 7 to 8:30, and that's when we go over the business principles. Okay, our Saturday mornings from 9 to 12, we go over the services, the how-tos. And then, and it's on Zoom, that's our physical location right there. Sunday, we have our power call. You'll receive a text message with that information in there. And then our next Super Saturday is the first Saturday of the month. That's when we do the recognition. Okay. So then we're going to begin the pre-licensing class. All right. I'm going to text you with our licensing specialist, and she's going to help you go through the process of getting your class and getting you licensed. That's the information to study online. You do want to schedule your exam within 5 to 10 days of going to class. That's where it's fresh on your mind. The exam fee is $33. Once you pass that, you do get that back reimbursed. And then we'll schedule a follow-up to do the fingerprints, to get that scheduled for you. Okay. On the exam guarantee, and our license specialist will help you with that. You do want to score 75% or better. That's just a green light. The company guarantees you'll pass the real test when you get the green light. Okay. Now here's the good thing. Here's the important part right here. You want to get out of the field. You want to get trained. You learn by seeing and doing. So you want to get your trainer, which is me, in front of a minimum 2 qualified appointments in your first 48 hours. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do that today. Okay. You definitely want to invite people to this coming up Thursday. All right. You want to bring at least one person with you to your first overview. So that way they get to definitely see exactly what you're doing as well. All right. Now, Bill, let me ask you a question real quick. Do you have personal life insurance outside of work?
No.
Okay. So you definitely want to own the products. You're in the business of life insurance. You need it. You can't ask others to do what you aren't willing to do. This is a leadership business. All right. You get to gain credibility when you start to meet with people and you have your own personal testimony of getting life insurance. So we can definitely set up a time to put together a game plan for you. Okay.
Yes. Let me make 2 comments. What if you get some pushback on, boy, that's a lot of hours I have to dedicate each week. Like, the Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, blah, blah. Okay. So how do you handle the pushback if you get that?
That's a good question. Okay, so let's go back. You wanted to make $2,000 a month, right?
Right.
Okay. So in order to make that $2,000 a month, there are some things that we got to work with you on. I'm sure you know that $2,000 a month is not going to come, just because you want it. You got to put a little elbow grease in it, right?
Right.
Okay, so this 1 hour, and it's on via Zoom on Thursday evening. So you get to Zoom in, but you get to listen to some of my top leaders. And they're going to talk about the business principles, because we're going to teach you business. All right. Our Saturday mornings also via Zoom. All right. And that's where you get to learn the how-tos, the services, because you want to make that $2,000 a month, correct?
Correct.
So these two are especially in your first 30 days. Okay. Your first 30 days, it's crucial to be a part of.
You don't back off on this. And well, you don't have to be at all if you're busy. You don't start even getting into that.
No. When I didn't understand it, I did. In the beginning, when I first started, I did. I remember one of my recruits, and she's still in the business with me today, but she was at I think it was an op meeting, and Taria made a comment of saying, I know you're serious if you're everything. And so on our way back, she was like, she don't even know my schedule. I said, don't worry about it. I understand. I know your schedule, so we'll work it out. But she ended up quitting. Now she's back, but you got to realize that people are not going to stay if you don't let them know what's expected of them.
They're testing you.
Yeah.
They're testing you and your conviction, aren't they?
Exactly. Somebody's gonna win. Who closing who? Either they gonna close you on not coming, or you gonna close them on the importance of coming.
Wow. And the other one is all the products your clients will expect that you need it. I notice how strong you are about that. What about people give you maybe a pushback there? Well, I'm not sure I'm interested in the life insurance at this point. I'm interested in the business, but I'm not really interested right now in life insurance myself. Talk about that.
So then I let them know, because we do get pushback right there. And I'll say, you lose all credibility with people. When your clients ask you, so do you have what you're offering? And you tell them no, you lose all credibility. And then I'll say, LeBron James, he don't wear somebody else's shoes. He wears his own. You got to own your own product.
That's good. All right. Now, great. Keep going.
Okay. All right. So there's two main focuses that I'm going to teach you how to do. I'm going to teach you how to build a client base and how to build an agency. All right. So why build a client base? Well, if it's given to you, you're paid hourly and you don't own it. Like if you worked at a Merrill Lynch or a State Farm, they give you a client base, right? But once you leave, they take it back. You built something for them, not for yourself. So when you build a client base, it's unlimited income potential and you own it. Okay, so ownership means you can sell it. And so I'm going to teach you how to have ownership in your book of business. Okay, so how do you build a client base? Well, the goal is to get from a warm market to a lukewarm market. So what's a warm market? That's family, friends, coworkers, churches, clubs. Okay, everybody that you know, they know someone you don't know. So that way you're never in a cold market. So I'm going to teach you how to build your market. All right. So as a new person, you're excited about building your business and helping your family and friends get on track financially. The good news is your warm market, they trust you. However, the problem is you don't have credibility as a financial professional. So they don't look to you as a financial expert. Well, we always have a field trainer to go with you in the beginning. The field trainer will bring credibility as a financial expert. What this would do for you is to help you learn the presentation and to help you achieve your bonus, okay, get paid, and your promotion requirements that are difficult to do on your own. The key area that your trainer would do is getting referrals. Without your trainer, your warm market would generally put you off when it comes to giving you names. In most cases, they're waiting to see if you're serious about the opportunity. When you let your trainer do the work, it is our job to obtain those 7 to 10 referrals from each successful appointment. These 7 to 10 referrals will open up a lukewarm market for you. And this is where you'll have the most success in business. The names are still warm because they've been referred by one of their close friends. The benefit is they don't know how long you've been in business. They just know that you can help them out with a great opportunity.
A couple of questions. Is the spouse with them during the orientation?
If they're married, yes.
What percentage of the time?
Usually the presentations are done at the house. And so they may not be right there, but they're around, they're listening because they want to know what their spouse is doing. Sometimes I ask them to come over so they can hear, because they have names and numbers too.
Sure. They don't have any, but you don't insist upon it. They have to sit with us on the orientation.
It's not like a do or die. I don't really, but at the end of the day, I want both of them to, because we talk a lot about partnership and we get both partners licensed. Because I'll share with them, you're building a business here. And that's how I retain a lot of my married couples, because we tell them both, that you getting licensed with your spouse is going to help both of you guys out. In the event something should happen to them, you're already licensed. That book of business doesn't get lost.
And I noticed that you read it word for word. You don't skip over. You don't just kind of give them paraphrased. What's the mindset there?
This is their orientation. One of the key things that Elwood, we talked about early on before we started really putting together our systems, he said, when you get a job and you walk in, they have their orientation. You either got to watch through a bunch of videos or they give you the manual. It's our job to share with them what we expect. And when you read it word for word, it cuts out all the fluff, because people, if you don't tell them this is what we're doing, there you go, Sean, the duplication makes it more simple, because now how you read it, if you read it with conviction, that's a little bit different, because most people that when they first start reading this, they don't really understand what points to stress. And so it's really teaching people how this should be done, because it duplicates it better and it cuts out people just ad-libbing.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So then I go over, how do you get paid? Now, this is the question everyone asks. Well, how do I get paid? So I'm going to break it down real quick. All right. On average, husband, wife, and children, they'll pay about $83 a month for their life insurance. We want to keep it simple. So 83 times 12 is $1,000 in annual premium. And you get paid a portion of this $1,000 depending on what contract level you're on. So right now you are an associate. And as an associate, the company has a bonus structure for you. Because right now you can't get paid because you're not legally licensed. So our company put together a bonus structure. So that way, no matter what you do in your first 90 days, you get bonused for it. All right. So the key here, though, is to get licensed, because they don't pay out on this bonus until you're licensed. It's banked for you. So that's the key, is to get licensed. Now, once you're licensed, you're at a 25% contract level. So 25% of an average policy, you're making $250. Now, keep in mind, you said you wanted to make $2,000, right? Okay.
Right.
So 2,000 divided by 250, how many families is that you have to help?
Was that like just short of 10?
Okay. So there we go. So I want you to write that down. You got to help 10 families to make that $2,000 a month on a rep contract. Okay.
Okay.
Now, how that's paid out? 75% is paid up front. That's called an advance. 25% on the 10th, 11th, and 12th month. That's called your earns. So you get paid on the policy 4 times. Now, once you do one recruit, all right, and 1,000 in premium in your training, you're going to get a $300 bonus. Okay. And you get your first promotion to senior rep. Now, as a senior rep, you're on a 35% contract level. 35% of an average policy, you're making $350. Now, once again, you mentioned you wanted to make $2,000 a month. So that's you helping about 6 families. Okay. Now, once we do 2 more, and that's paid out same way, 75% up front, 25% divided amongst the 10th, 11th, and 12th month. That's called your earns. Once we do 2 more recruits and 2 more $1,000 in premium, you're going to get a $600 bonus and your district promotion. Now, this is the highest contract level you can get before your license gets appointed. All right. As a district, you're at a 50% contract level. So now you're making $500. So now divide that 2,000 into 500. That means you help 4 families and you're making that $2,000. Now, let me ask you this question. When you get licensed, which contract level do you want to be at a rep contract or a district contract?
District.
Absolutely. So I'm going to teach you how to get to district during your training. That way you get to get that $900 bonus. You get to have a team and you're at the highest contract level before that license hit. All right. At that point, that's when the overrides get good. All right. You had a 25% override. I'm going to show you what that means on the next page. So our goal is to get you from associate, which that's where you are now, to district. And then I break down, I got to update my bonus part. I keep forgetting to update this. So the bonus, I've already told you to download that app. So you already got the $50 bonus from downloading the app. And then once you complete class, you get another $100 bonus. And then this talks about, you know, one recruit, 1,000 in premium. That's about a policy. That's $300 bonus. 2 recruits, 2,000. That's a $600 bonus. 3 recruits, 3,000 is a $900 bonus, and your district promotion.
Got it.
All right. Now, our second focus is to build an agency, and you want an agency. All right. So why build an agency? To provide consistent passive income. That's freedom. To be able to open up your own Primerica office, you need 6 district agents. So I just showed you how to get to district. We got to get 6 more people that we build for you to district as well. All right. So you as a district, you're at a 50% contract level. So here's an example. You help one family each week, right? That's 1,000 in annual premium. So that means you're making $500. And let's say you have a team member that also helps a family. You're going to override them $250. So 500 plus 250, that's $750. That's you helping one person and them helping one person. Do that each week for 4 weeks, and that's $3,000 part-time. Now, how quickly can I get you to come full-time once we're making that $3,000 a month?
Oh, as soon as I start making the money, I can do it.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm going to teach you how to do. So how many people do you want on your team?
As many as I can get. That's a very familiar statement.
Absolutely. So here's the game plan. If you want to be successful, you have to be willing to use every connection you've got. And that's something that Magic Johnson said, very successful businessman. And that's just networking. I mean, at the end of the day, we have not been taught how to network. We've been taught how to ask for a hookup, but we haven't been taught how to network. And so what that means, you know, let's just say on average, how many numbers do you have in your phone?
100.
100. Okay, so you have 100. And let's say each one of them, they also have 100 numbers in their phone. And each one of them, they also have 100 numbers in their phone. Okay, that's your network of people to network with. But we'll never get to those people if we don't get your first 100 first.
Got it. Wow. It's a lot of people.
So now we're going to put together your top list. And then we get right there on Zoom. I'm putting together their list.
How you doing that?
So, well, first, you know, and I have a Word document of it. So I'm typing it right then and there while we're talking. And after I explain to them about their numbers and in their phone, I said, now get out your phone. Okay. Now, who would be your top 3 people that would say yes to you just because you're you? And then
my brother, my cousin, and my best friend.
Okay. So then what's your brother's name?
John, Bill, and Joe. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna do that real quick. I'm gonna pull up the Word document because that's what I do right then and there. I pull up the Word document and I start typing it. Let me get it. All right. So I'm going to pull it up and we're going to put together your list. And then I'm going to email you this. So we're going to start it off and I'm going to email it to you because that's going to be, you know, for you to finish part of your homework. All right. So what's your brother's name?
John.
All right. And then what is John's number?
224-193-2468. 2468. Yeah, there you go. Whatever that is. Yeah, that's good.
Whatever that is. Now, is John married?
No.
Does he have children?
No.
Okay, so, and that's your brother, right?
Right. Now, I put that in there purposely to see how you would handle someone that's not married. But so talk about that after you finish what the point you're trying to make.
Okay. And then give me your next person.
Fred.
All right. And then what's Fred's number?
221-396.
I'm just putting numbers in. Okay.
There you go.
Now,
There you go.
is Fred married?
Yes,
Okay. He has children?
2.
Two. Okay, great. And who's Fred to you?
He's a best friend.
Okay. And then we just go down the list. Now, when I'm finished, because I'll just keep going. I'll keep going. And it's a top 50. Now, for sure on Zoom, I'm getting at least a top 15, if not more. It just kind of depends because we're on, Zoom is a little different. When we were in person, we'd get all 50. In person, we got 50 names. On Zoom, we've been working with it, but we'll still get a top 25. And so right then and there, when they have a lot of marrieds, I let them know. We talk about market. And I'll say, you're in the business of life insurance. So you got to understand, life insurance and that your best market to be in are people who are married with kids. They need the services, they're looking for someone. Someone who's not married, don't have any kids, they're less likely to get the services. And so this is a business. Now, if you had a toy store, who would you be marketing to?
Married people with children.
There you go, because they're going to come and get what you're offering. Same thing in life insurance. We got to know who to market to. And so your best markets are people who are married with kids.
Do you ever refuse not to take, what about a single mom? What about, or do you ever refuse to take somebody because of their age? I know you're not asking about age. Do you ever refuse to take somebody because of they're out of market?
Now, if it's a young person, because I'm very upfront, I'm not going on appointments with someone who's young and someone who's older. I'm just not, because that's not the best use of my time. And so, and I'll tell them that. I'll say, now the two groups you want to stay out of are people who are very young. Okay, they don't have the experience yet. They're not married. They don't have any kids. They still live at home with mom and dad. You're going to be frustrated. And then the very mature, they're set in their ways. They're older. They may have health issues. They can't get the services. So I'm teaching you business. Those are the two markets that's going to frustrate you. Do you want to be frustrated? Or you want to make money?
Make money.
So these are the markets I want you to stay in. This, 25 to really, 45. But I'll share that with them. This is the market you want to stay in. And if someone has like a lot of married people, I'll tell them, I'll say, you're sitting on a gold mine.
What about
all these married people?
What about single moms? Because there's this crusader aspect of, I want to help single moms. I want to help single moms. You can load that thing up with single moms because that's where their heart is. They're a single mom, let's say. And I think single moms like me need it. And how do you handle that when the ratios aren't as good?
Yeah. I mean, this is a business. It's not social services.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think what happens is we get into Primerica and we want to do social services. And so you make no money, you get frustrated and you quit.
Edward, she's tough.
I had to learn how to do that though, from experience.
Do you have any more slides? Is that
Right.
it? Is that your last slide?
That's the last slide.
And so, okay, you got the names. Where do we go from here?
So then I say, I'm going to email this to you because I want you to do a phone dump. Okay, here's what a phone dump is. Because I always give people homework. This is your homework. So your homework is, I want you to, and then I got this story from, I think it was Francis Averett, either Francis or Cheryl Bartlett. I said, I want you to consider yourself a farmer. Okay, as a farmer that's getting ready to plant the seeds, he doesn't go through and say, this seed's gonna grow, this seed's not gonna grow. He just plants the seeds, and those that grow, grow, those that don't. Okay, your contacts are seeds. I don't want you to prejudge the seeds. Some are gonna say yes, some are gonna say no, but at the end of the day, when we meet with them, you're gonna get something out of it. Okay, we may meet someone who's the life of the party or someone that knows everybody. They're going to give us referrals. All right. So I don't want you to prejudge the seed. So I'm going to email this to you, do a phone dump. And then when we meet back up, we're going to put the list together.
Okay. Now, where do we go from here?
Now where we go from here, if they didn't have that policy, then we go back and we put together a policy, a game plan for them. If they're married, I said, let's meet back with your spouse. But we definitely get the policy done. There's three things that you want to make sure you get done.
At the orientation?
Yes.
At the orientation, you say, okay, now we're going to do your policy.
If they don't have a policy and they're there with their spouse, yes, let's at least look at some different options for you.
Because so that's what you say, right? Let's look at some different options for you as far as our protection is concerned. Right?
Yes.
All right, keep going.
I use the word options a lot because people want to know they have options. So let's look at some different options for you. Then we can choose to see which one's going to be best fit for you and your family. So the policy, either they already have a policy, we're doing a policy review. We're going to schedule time. Do you know where your policy is? Now, keep in mind, we're on Zoom, we're not in person. So, do you know where your policy is? Okay, great. First of all, I just want to congratulate you on having a policy. So you're going to be your first appointment because you're in the business of life insurance. So you need to know how your own policy works. And so,
I love that you're going to be your first appointment. Wow. Wow. Great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I say you're in the business of life insurance. So we got to know, first of all, how to protect you and your family or how your policy works, because you're going to be doing that for other people. So you want to make sure you are a representation of what you do.
Do you do a dime or you do an FNA or anything to determine how life insurance they need?
I do the dime, and I also have a budget sheet. Like especially when they're in the right market, they're married, they have kids. I already know they got credit cards, they got debt. And I'll ask them, do you have any student loans? Okay, I'm going to send you this budget sheet. I want you to fill this out. Okay, and then send it back to me. And when we meet back up, we're going to put together a game plan for you. So that way, you know how to get out of debt, the type of life insurance that you need, and you know about your retirement. So that way we're talking about retirement. I'm doing investments, I'm doing insurance.
And so you're really setting up at the orientation, a life insurance policy. And so when is that next appointment? 24 to 48 hours? So you're not running the life app right there?
No, we set it up, especially if they already have a policy. I want to do a policy review. Yeah. I don't call it an audit. I just say a review, because you're your own first appointment. So that way we can review what you currently have and then look to see what options we can have for you.
Okay. And who sets up the appointments? Do you set up the appointments from that list, or what happens to the list?
Oh, so right then and there, we do set up at least 3 appointments, because that's what the orientation said, that we're going to minimum set up those. So their top list, whoever those top 3 people are, that's going to say yes to them, no matter what, we go ahead and we role play, and then we set up those appointments. I say, okay, let me pull up my schedule. I now have a schedule on, what's this called? Virtual schedule. So I'll pull up my schedule, and then I'll let them know, okay, so this is what we're going to do today, and then we set up some appointments. We set up at least 3 before we get off the Zoom.
Is it a 3-way call? Is it a 3-way call? A 3-way?
No, it's I role play with them, and I let them know these are your people. I'm not going to call, and that's how I'm able to get more numbers on their list, when I let them know that I'm not going to do the phone calls. One of the complaints I read early on when I was in the business on Better Business Bureau or something is that they took my list and called all my people. So I was like, look, this is your list. They know you. They know your number. If I call, I may get, voicemail before I get a hold of them. So I'm going to teach you what to say, but they're your people. So call them up and ask them, hey, what are you doing Friday at 3:00? I got something I want to share with you. And I keep it very simple. That way they don't get all caught up. And I do tell them there's 3 words I want you to stay away from. Okay. I don't want you to say Primerica, because I don't know if that person already had an experience with Primerica, or, you know, they know it's life insurance, because I don't want people thinking we're there to sell them, because we're not. So stay away from Primerica, stay away from life insurance, stay away from investments. Those are the 3 words I do not want you to say.
Got it.
And so keep it very simple. Hey, I'm excited. I just started a business. I want to share with you what I'm doing. What are you doing Friday at 6 o'clock?
So
They're
you
your
don't give,
friends.
you give them a script, or you just go over it with them?
I just go over it with them, because I don't want them to sound scripted. I don't want them to sound like they're reading from a script. So I keep it very basic. They're your friends. Chit chat. Okay, look, I got something I just started. I want to share with you what it is. What are you doing Wednesday at 7 o'clock? Okay, awesome. It's a Zoom. I'm gonna send you the Zoom link. And I just want you to Zoom in.
All right. All right, keep going. What now?
Okay. So once we set those 3 appointments up, I say, great, we've accomplished a lot today. Okay. We have your 3 appointments set up. We have your market list set up. All right. We have our follow-up for your life insurance. So this is what we're going to do next. Now be sure to download that app so you can get your $50 bonus. And then whatever time they set those appointments up, I'll see you back. And this is what I want you to do on those appointments. Have a pen and paper with you, because I want you to take note of what I'm saying, how I'm saying it, what questions your person asks, how I respond to those questions, because I'm training you on what to do, what I do.
Now, if it's a woman that you're recruiting mostly, and husband is probably not going to be involved, and they want to call their women friends who are married, do you say, well, how do you handle that? Because statistically, my experience is if you go through the wife, the husband's going to say no. But if you go to the husband, the wife's going to say yes. Comment on that.
So I'll tell them, if they're a married couple, you know, let both husband and wife are there. So that way they both know what it is.
And what if they can't get both of them? My husband works, or this or that.
Let's pick a great time. If it's a weekend, you know, it's on Zoom. It's just tell them it's a 30-minute Zoom. You know, they can both Zoom in together.
All right. And so that's what you do. And then, and how long does your orientation take?
It's typically about 45 minutes.
And you're spending a lot of that getting the names.
Getting the names. The majority of that is getting the names.
Because we've been doing this for 32 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
So you got to get the names. Do you get any pushback on names? I can't get them right now, or I don't have time to get them. Any pushback on getting the names?
Sometimes we do, and I let them know that this is your orientation. Remember, you said you want to make that $2,000 a month. It all starts with building a market, you know, and so a market comes from your list first, and we get referrals, because each person, you know, they know people you don't know. I just repeat back what's in the orientation.
And what
if they still give me pushback, I know I'm not going to train them.
And do you ever put them with somebody else that has more time than you? How do you do that? Well, I've got
all the time.
Is more apt to help you.
They laughing. I do it all the time. If it's someone that gives me pushback, if it's someone that won't give me a list, they, you know, not setting up the appointments, I say, you know what, we're going to go to class. Okay. So that way you can get your license. And I call them a lead code. Let's say, oh man, the words just crossed my mind. I don't say lead trainer. The team lead. I have a team lead that's going to work with you. And so that way, and I put them underneath them, even if it's my own personal recruit, and I'll tell that team lead, I'll have a great person for you to work with.
Yeah, baseball players call that designated hitters. You know, you hit for the pitcher. And the other thing is, everyone on this call is thinking, I could never do what she did. She's too good at this. How long did it take you to really feel comfortable in what you've been doing with this regard?
Yeah. So the orientation, after you've been doing it, I mean, it takes time, for you to get a feel of it, for you to get convicted about it, for you not to skip over certain parts. Because I already know when we do our training over this, we talk about that, because some people, they skip over parts because they're not confident in talking about it yet. And so it does take time. And at the end of the day, when you do this over and over again, you're really making your confidence better. You're getting more convicted about it. The first couple of times, the first times you do it, you're reading it and there's no conviction in it because you're just kind of reading the words. But once you read it over and over again, you're convicting yourself. And then you can speak from a different level, because now it's like, no, this is what it is. This is what it takes to succeed here. You want to succeed, right? And
Yes.
I put it back on you want to succeed. Remember, you said you want to make that $2,000 a month. Okay, so this
Keep
is what
going
it's going
back
to
to that, don't you?
take.
You keep going back to that, but don't you?
Yes. You said you're willing to work to make that 2,000. This is what the work requires.
People on this call are probably going to go out and try this, and the first 5 people in the middle of everything in the orientation, no, I've decided not to do this. They think you get 100% of the people interested because you're so good and so dynamic and so 400. If I was making $400,000 a year, everybody would be joining, right?
No, people think I lie about the money I make. I don't even talk about it no more because it's unbelievable to people.
You almost turn them off sometimes if you. So I had my ratios when I was struggling brand new. My ratios were the same as when I was making $500,000. Ratios are the ratios. I don't care how much money you're making, right?
You just got to, and here's the thing, when you focus on the double-digit recruiting, okay, the no's are not going to hurt as much because you're getting the yeses. The people that quit, it's not going to hurt as much because you're getting the people that are working with you. And that's why you got to focus on double-digit recruiting. The odds are stacked for you when you DDR. When you don't DDR, I mean, you're going to get all the no's. It's going to be frustrating. It's going to be, this don't work. I don't know about this. They make money. That's why I work for them. No, we're just going through more people.
Okay, somebody gives you the list and you got the list and you're going to get back to them. They call you back up, say, I changed my mind. I don't want to do this. What do you do with the list?
It's my list. I worked for that.
Do you say, do you mind if I still call them? What do you do?
I make phone calls from it. It's my referral list. I worked for that list. That's my payment.
Isn't that how Taria got you?
Yep. I was on
a list from somebody who never did anything and she called, right?
Yep.
And so final words, any thoughts, any recommendations, any how-tos, any gut thoughts that you need to give to all of us?
You got to keep it simple. I think we overcomplicate things. We want to tell people everything that we know, and people don't move with knowledge. They don't move with knowledge. You got to make it simple. You got to talk to the heart. You got to, be real with them, be transparent, laugh. Like, there's so many things that I teach our team to do. So that way it breaks the ice. So crack a couple of jokes. If your technology is messing up, say it, technology, you can't live with it, can't live without it. Ha ha, he he. Like, you got to laugh throughout the process because it breaks the ice and it makes you more like familiar with them versus, you just got to, relax and laugh and have fun with it.
Yeah, that's what happened to me a few minutes ago when I went blank because I had a couple of grandkids pop in here. I had to shut everything down for about a minute or two. And we're so proud of you. We're really proud of the team you have with Edward and you. And talk about the heart to serve people, because you ooze caring. And you can't phony that up, can you, Chanika?
No, you can't. You can't. You gotta, and we teach people skills. We don't teach sales. We teach people skills, because the real product in this business and in any business is people. You win with people. And so once we really understand that this is a people's business, so I got to work on me. I got to work on my facial expression. I got to work on how I relate to people, how I respond to people. This is a people's business. So the better you are at that, then you'll win in business. You'll succeed.
You have to have a list of the things you work on with connecting with people, like you just talked about. You have to have a list like that you can show us. So that
skill with people. I remember when you first.
Do you have a list that you go over with your people, the things that you teach your people?
I'm putting that together right now for my RVPs, literally. So I'm a curriculum mindset. So I have this curriculum for my RVPs, and literally I have a list right here of a personal growth plan. And it says consciously change your unconscious, because we unconsciously do things, and you have to consciously change your unconscious. Learning how to resolve conflict while remaining cohesive. That's a huge one, because this is a people's business. So conflict is going to happen. Don't run away from it. Learn how to resolve it while remaining cohesive. Okay. Communication, receiving and giving feedback. Of course, give your efforts time to compound. Everything don't deserve a response. Sometimes you got to ignore. And I think we're so quick to react. Everything doesn't deserve a response. I don't care if you can be looking at me crazy. I got to respond to you.
My marriage would have been a lot better 50 years ago if you had told me that. Wow.
Giving people responsibility. That's how you retain people. So we talk about recruiting and retaining, because sometimes people are recruiters. They know how to recruit, but they don't know how to retain. And so they keep getting new people, and their business is not getting built because they're just recruiting, but they're not retaining people they recruit.
Well, we're winding down now, and you've got something happening with Tony tomorrow night. Why don't you promo that and tell us about it, and then we'll have Tony flash on the screen, the guest speaker. And what is tomorrow night? Why is it important? And what have you learned from doing these with Tony, the Women in Worth?
Yeah, so the Women in Worth, oh my gosh, it's an awesome, once a month. It's the third Wednesday of every month, so it's tomorrow. And really, we got to understand our relationship when it comes to money, and how a lot of that stems from our worthiness. Or do we think we're worthy enough to attain? See, people don't succeed because of how they feel about their worth. And it shows up. Oh my gosh, when you're training people, it shows up how they feel about themselves. It shows up in how they communicate, how they don't communicate, how they respond, like how they feel about themselves show up when you train people. And so it's so important as women, and really as anyone, but it's specifically
it can be on tomorrow night.
Anyone could be on tomorrow. And we're having Peggy Hightower as our guest speaker on tomorrow. But I've learned so much. The book Worthy, oh my gosh, that was so good. And just how your worth your income is a byproduct of how worthy you are of how you feel. It really is.
Well, I heard that with you, and you said, those are my names. I worked for them. I gave them value. In other words, you felt I'm worthy of those names. You were adamant. Right. I feel that same way. I need to get names. If I don't have names, I'm not getting paid. I want to get paid. I like making money, and I like getting names, which makes me money. Well, Tony, can you flash that up on the screen? People can take a picture of it. I'm not sure she can hear me, but anyway, it's tomorrow night. What time? Dallas time?
She emailed it to me. Let me see. I can pull it up real quick.
Yeah, sorry, Coach. I'm actually driving, so I'm not able to pull up the picture. My apology.
I can pull it up.
Take a picture, and it's the same phone number, same Zoom number you just dialed into today. And that's 8 o'clock Central Time for those in the East Coast, West Coast, up in Canada. And that's Peggy Hightower. In case you don't know, she's used to be a nurse. She's under Andy Young. She makes $1 million a year and more, and from Hierarchy Overrides. She did not come here to sell. And so you're going to be picking her brain and understanding the concept of you have to feel worthy before you get wealthy. I am deserving of wealth. I earn wealth. I work hard. So thank you very much, Chanika. Edward, thank you very much for talking her out of that terrible thing that she could have done with their lives. But and you helped. Chanika, you are brilliant. God bless you. People, you are a treasure. Everyone believes it. Thank you very much, everybody. And we'll see you next week. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.